So there will be heat transfer from unconditioned to conditioned. Yeah, that's why you need to model those unconditioned areas. And in terms of the multi-floor buildings adjacent to your building, in this assembly library, there is reflectance and emittance, so you can kind of show no heat gain there by making that one. You can also model it as north. That'll do away with the heat gain on that wall, but there's really no way of directly saying that there is a big multi-story building right next to your building, shading it all the time. So we just had someone join. We are recording this, and we'll give that to you later. If you have any specific questions after the webinar, you can email those to support@energysoft.com, and we can get back to you that way. That's really the best way, I think, to do it, is to email support if you just joined, or wait for that video. We'll have that available sometime in the future, hopefully soon. Okay, so feel free to keep asking questions. I'm just going to go over a few other little tips in EnergyPro that you'd probably figure out, but if I show you now, it'll make it a little bit quicker. So managing the building tree, you can expand and collapse these things to see everything you want to see and nothing you don't want to see. Under the view, you can expand everything and see everything you have in your model. You can also right-click on, say, a system and say, show me just the systems, or show me just all of the zones. When you have a real big building like a hospital or something, it'll come in handy to do that sort of thing. Under tools and user information, you enter your name and your company address here, which will show up on the reports. The company name is linked to your license key, so that will be locked in there based on your license key information, which you'll receive an email from once you purchase the software. Okay, so good question. Where's the library that you are exporting the VRF equipment from? Is it already on your computer with a program, or downloaded from some third party? The answer is it's already on your computer. When you download the program, when you download EnergyPro, there will be a file, and I'll show you where that is. It'll be on your C drive. Now it's kind of different for different versions of Windows. I have Windows 7, so I have to go to Users and then My Name. What you really need to get to is My Documents. Within My Documents, there's an EnergyPro 5, and within the EnergyPro 5, there's a Projects folder. That Projects folder has all of our sample files right here, and included in those sample files are the files Mitsubishi and Daikin, LG, that have the systems that I was exporting. So C drive, and My Documents, EnergyPro 5, and Projects is where you get the projects that have the libraries. And again, different computers are different. I don't know if you'll have to go to Users and then your name, or for different operating systems, the path will be a little bit different, but get to Documents or My Documents, EnergyPro 5, and Projects. And there are the air-cooled for the AC and WC for water-cooled example files. And then there's also different sample files that you can take a look at, and if you're just starting modeling, it might help you out a little bit there. Outdoor lighting, residential, non-residential, metal buildings, so on and so forth. So there are certain load assumptions that are based on the occupancy you select. So this library stacks is the occupancy. When I add a room to it, this room is going to have the occupancy density and occupancy sensible and latent ventilation based on the library stacks here. It would be different if it was, you know, an auto shop or something. Sometimes you'll build a zone and then go back and change the occupancy, and the occupant tab won't change here. What you need to do is you need to go to Edit and Replace. And then go to Load Assumptions, Next, Next, select Global from Cursor or Selected Branch, and that will reset all of your load assumptions to be based on the occupancy. The Edit Replace, you can also go through and select Construction Assembly and change every wall from R13 to R15 or whatever you want to change it to. Next, Global, so that every place can save you some time not having to go through and change everything. So for the outdoor units, the heating type selected, is it based on model number or is that a user input? I'm guessing, let me see here. The heating type should always be electric resistance. I know it's actually a heat pump, but the way that these systems are built into EnergyPro, you need to leave that heating type at electric resistance, so that it's not really a user input, or it's based on the model number. I guess it's always electric resistance. David, I will get back to you on that. And if there's a question, you know, that I said I'll get back to you on, probably the best thing would be to send an email, so that way I have your email and your question and we can get back to you. Support@energysoft.com. All right, so let's go over one more time how to get the systems into your model. So I'm going to close this. I don't want to save it. I'm going to open up a brand new project. This is my project here. I'm also going to open up, and we'll go through the path one more time on the C drive, users, my name, my documents, get to the EnergyPro 5 folder. Within that folder is the projects, and let's say I want to use a Daikin water-cooled system. I would select the Daikin water-cooled example file. I have two projects open right now. I will go to Window, Tile Vertical, just to lay it out a little bit more nicely. And let's say that I want to go into the libraries and my essential system. Here I have the list of all the Daikin systems. Say I want all of them to be in my model because I don't know exactly which one I want right now, and I want to use all of them. I'm going to select the top one, scroll to the bottom, hold the Shift key, select all of them in that library. Then I'm going to export. And where do I want to export it to? This building 1, which is the name of the building that I just opened. Okay. The export's complete. And in my library now, under Central, I have all of these systems that I have in my default library, as well as all of the Daikin systems that I just exported. So what I might do is I might delete all of these systems already in my library and have just the systems I imported a second ago in my library. I would also need to go into the zonal systems and export them, highlight them all, export it to building 1. And now my zonal library Once again, has all of the VAV boxes and CIV boxes that are in my default libraries, which I'm going to delete right now, as well as all of the systems that I just exported. Now, if I wanted to make things simple in the library here and delete everything, that's fine. The software will not allow you to delete the model numbers that you have selected in your model, in your building. So if you want to see just the models you have selected, try and delete everything. The software won't let you do that. So the question is, can you model emergency backup heat, either hot water or electric resistance, for extreme climate conditions and VRV? In the VRV, I'm going to expand this. In the VRV library here, the electric resistance is the backup. Yes, you can model that right there. In terms of hot water, I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think you can do that, but the electric resistance is how you would do that. So if you have a question on an input and you don't really know what it means or what you should put in there, a pretty good trick is to put your cursor in the field and hit F1 on your keyboard, and a little bit of information will pop up as to what you need to put in there. Another part of the EnergyPro model that you can manipulate is the schedules. Under the Zone Schedules tab, you can input the schedules that you want your building to use. We have the 90.1 schedules included in there, and the tile 24. You can always adjust that to be what your building is going to use. You can change the hourly information right here, and then you can right click, copy, and paste that throughout the week. You can also do weekly periods right here. If your building is a school and maybe it's going to be turned off for the summer, you can put the weekly periods here. These weekly periods start January 1st and end the date that's listed here. So what I have here is just one period all year long. If I hit the plus sign, I'll have 2 periods. This one would end on, say, July 9th, and then the next period would go from July 10th through the end of the year, and that obviously you can put a different schedule in there. You need to make sure that these numbers here are in chronological order. If you have December before any other month, the file will crash. So make sure that these numbers are in chronological order. The first one starts the first day of the year and ends the date here. Every schedule underneath starts the next day and ends the day listed here. The last one needs to end on December 31st. Also, something I want to mention is in the zone icon.